Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the X-Fan Show Afternoon Delight. I am your host, one of your hosts, Dirty Arlington, is on his way. He's running a little behind, with the weather going on in Texas right now with the tornadoes and all that. And, a lot of shouts and prayers to all of our people down there in Texas. I hope you guys are all safe and doing well. Also, before we even get going, a big shout out what's up, RC? Hope everything you're safe down there and doing well with all the bad weather coming in through the Texas area. Also, in the football world, we lost Mike Leach today from Texas Tech, Mississippi State. He lost his life today. So, thoughts and prayers to his family over there in Texas for where Mike Leach was. No, that we're not sad or lonely anymore. Hello, sir. How
Hello.
are you?
What's going on, man?
What is Jimmy saying? He doesn't see video? I know. I see video. Do you see video, bro?
Yeah, I see it.
Right, yeah. So, hey, Arlington, first and foremost, how's the weather over there, bud? Are you good?
Good, man.
Are you? Okay, just making sure, man. Just making sure. Next week, Arlington, we're going to have some changes to our stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, we're going to have changes.
Got some changes in store. Yes, we do.
Yeah,
But not necessarily. We'll still be where you can find us.
Well, yeah, we're just going to be switching up our broadcast.
Just shut up. You talk too much.
I'm going to be switching up the way I broadcast. I don't know about you. I'm going to broadcast to where I look prettier, unlike you. That's all I'm going to say.
Dude, I look better than you right now as we speak.
Really? You think so?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. But anyways, hey.
I got my beard trimmed. Got me a little short cut with this. Got my hair to the sides, cut. We got it faded.
Is that what it is? Is that what you think?
I look better than you, so just admit it, man. It's all good.
Anyways, a lot of things happened this weekend. We had the Fan Fest down there in San Antonio.
Yeah.
So,
hello.
How was it, Arlington? Give me. You were there. You were live. So how was it? How was the Fan Fest?
It was fantastic. I see that, Andrew. Dirty changing his name to Clean.
I might do that, Mr. Clean.
What's going on, Brian? Hey, it was fantastic. I have to say, meeting up with the Smoking Guns podcast, getting to meet RC with Brahma Mamas, and I met her lovely daughter, Francesca, who's trying to get into the sports media game herself. And so that's always fantastic when you're seeing young people trying to get into the next level and wanting to do bigger and better things in sports.
Wait, you're only going to mention RC. You're not going to mention.
If you let me finish,
okay,
we'll get to it.
Okay.
San Antonio Jason was there, and you saw him in the video because he was definitely talking smack to you. Also, I got to meet John Narvaez, who's handling the tickets and sales for the San Antonio Brahmas, right? And I got to meet Warren, and also I got to meet Andy Gonzalez, my guy from XFL Access. So,
hey, wait, stop right there. That's where we'll leave that at. Keep going on. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, that's cool. And definitely got to meet some of the fans that were there for the San Antonio Brahmas.
I still didn't hear Leo or Phil.
You talking about the Brahma Bros?
Yeah, from the Smoking, Guns podcast.
That was the first thing I mentioned.
No, you mentioned RC.
No, I mentioned the Smoking Guns podcast.
But all I'm saying is you called RC out by name, but you didn't call Phil.
Are they not part of the Smoking Guns podcast? I mentioned them too. No, you're not going to sit there and do me like that.
Saying right?
You're not going to do that.
Saying right?
You're not going to do that. You're not going to.
Right? That's all I'm saying, right?
Leo and Philip, there. I got you. Happy now? Are you happy now?
I'm just saying, right?
Right. All right, whatever. That's cool. All good.
That's all I'm saying, right?
Dang, you shared the show 60 times?
I didn't. I only shared it to where it normally goes. You know how it works.
60 times?
You know what I'm trying to get you to do. I know you want to do something. First and foremost, I have to apologize to Player 54 podcast. I was just on it on Monday, and I did not realize.
Wait a minute. You didn't even do this. If you did, you didn't do it correctly. Welcome to the X Fan Show, right?
Yes, I did do that.
You did that right?
Yes, I did.
Everything right? All right.
Right. All right. Yeah.
That's dirty. Right.
Right.
A-Train. Right.
Right. Yep.
For those that listen to the show, you can understand where we're coming from with this. If you watched or listened to the Player 54 podcast, there's a reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, right?
Let's get it over with.
Right?
Let's get it over with.
Right?
Yeah, get it over with.
You sure, right? Are you sure, right?
Yeah. Get it over with, will you?
You sure?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the wall because that's what it felt like when I listened to that freaking interview that you did. That interview that you did was interesting, right? You sure, right? You sure? God, man, I'm like, yes, Brian, it was a very interesting podcast. No disrespect to Tommy Auger, who was on the show with Player 54 and Michael Latham. And then Michael Latham did an interview with my co-host, Dirty. And I could have sworn after every freaking statement this dude was saying, right?
That I sounded like an idiot?
Right.
Yeah. Right. Hot water.
Right.
Hot water.
Right.
Yeah, okay, look, come on, speed this up. We got a lot to talk about. Look, I apologize. I sounded like an idiot. That's why my co-host, my lovely co-host there, is ripping me a new one. Yeah, so I owe Player 54.
No, you don't. You don't owe him nothing. All you need to do is just change how you be talking on the show. Good grief. You do it on this one.
Anyways, look, I gotta show something here. I like this. Ready? Player 50. Speaking of the Smoking Gun podcast, thank you to those guys right over there for making us a wallpaper.
No, they made you a wallpaper.
Well, making the St. Louis fans a wallpaper.
Yeah, he definitely needs some hot water, champ.
Yeah, thank you to those guys, which I actually have it on my phone as we speak. I think it's a very cool wallpaper, and hopefully, you people around the league reach out to the Smoking Gun podcast and see if they will make you guys one. But they probably won't, because you're not as cool as us. That's all I have to say about that. So anyways, where do we start, Arlington? Let's go back to
we can start at I heard you mention about Mike Leach. And I do want to send out my thoughts and prayers to him and his family. I did see some reports. Yeah, especially with his air raid offense. So I know that it is a tough loss for the college football community, and you got to remember. You're like, well, why you mention that on the XFL show? It's because you got to remember, you got to get through college to get to the pros, right? So there are many guys that may have played for Mike Leach that are going to be either playing in the XFL. They play under Leach. So at this point right now, it is a big loss. And I was listening. I kind of listened to to First Take this morning, and it was Reese Davis that was on there with Stephen A. Smith, and he said he might not be one of the greatest football coaches of all time because the record will reflect it, but he will be one of the most remembered coaches in college football. Everybody remembers last week, even though he didn't say last week, but it was his personality. It was, the type of offense that he ran, and it will be well remembered because he was over there for a time he was with Texas Tech and Washington State, and he was able to turn their programs around.
Right, and if you notice, the XFL is kind of a similar type of kind of takes some of the Mike Leach hardware and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, so it's very interesting. It's a lot of his stuff is you're going to see that in the game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thank you, Andrew. Yes, you did notice that. You're right. That is dirty, but you guys can all kiss it. I don't really rats. But so now let's get back to the Fan Fest. Arlington, you were there. Like I said, you were on the Smoking Guns podcast. You had John from the ticket. If I'm not mistaken, he is the
ticket office. Yeah,
director of tickets.
Yep.
And you did an interview with him. I'd love to get him on. I mean, it sounded like it was windy there when you guys were there, but it looked like it was a beautiful weekend.
But it was nice. The day was nice. It was fantastic. 75 degrees in a December day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's raining here and it's 32. Now let me ask you this. Did you see? Now we were there at the Battlehawks grassroots movements, right? We were there for those, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a feeling that this Brahma Fan Fest was like the St. Louis happy hours that we had, the grassroots movement? Did it have the same feel, or was it a different feel compared to 2022, 2023?
I'm going to look at it like this. There was a bunch of fans that are ready. They're ready for football in San Antonio, right? And so they're hungry for it. And then, not to mention, they did have some entertainment that was there also. I don't know if you saw the live video when, they had some clowns and stuff there, and it was engaging. And got a chance to talk with some fans and what they remember. And they were bringing back to me, not to mention, I also had to throw his name out, Steve, a.k.a. Brahma Claus. He was there because he was throwing shots at St. Louis too.
Saw that. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yes. And so I want to make sure I mention him too, because they were mentioning about the previous, football teams that were playing in San Antonio and why this means, if not more, to San Antonio than the previous teams, because it's going to be on a bigger scale. So so it was an excellent affair. Great crowd that came through. Got a chance to see the Brahmas jersey up close and personal. And Dirty, you're right. That Brahmas jersey may be one of the best uniforms in the XFL. Yeah, if not the best.
Just seeing it on the videos and all that stuff, right?
Andrew asked a question real quick about the Fan Fest.
Mm-hmm.
What was that put on by the Brahmas that the fans put on? That was put on by the fans, and then they were able to bring some Brahma swag to the mix.
Yeah, that was 100% fan driven. So you got to give credit to RC and Leo, Phil from the Smoky Guns podcast. You got to give
Warren some credit too.
Right, you got to give props to Jason for those guys putting that on and doing that. I mean, a very, very well way they did it, and it looked like it was done very, very well, Arlington. And that's why I was asking you. You were there, so did you kind of have the feel of a Battlehawk grassroots movement like we did?
Yes.
So did it have that feel? Did it feel like they were excited?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I talked to a fan, a lady fan, who's like, when I heard the XFL was coming back, I was jumping on board. Although they remembered from Charlie's league that, they felt like their team was ripped away from them, but they said they still love football. And when you still love football, you're going to support it no matter what's put out there. Okay. And it was like this iteration was, I'm ready to see, and they watch our show. So they watched the X-Fan show. I didn't quite get the person's name, so forgive me. But they said they watched the show, and basically they were like, I can't wait for San Antonio football to return and come 2023 in February. So I'm looking forward to seeing it myself. For sure, man. So yeah, it was a nice crowd. They came out, they showed up. Shout out to Maymay's Boys Barbecue.
Okay.
Probably has some of the best barbecue I've tasted. 15 years in the game. They need a social media page. They really do, because I'm serious, man. Like, their barbecue was, oh my God. And the potato salad. Hey, you know, that's how I feel about it. I felt like an Italian. I felt like an Italian with that, man. Like, for real, it was that good. Mm-hmm. You know, they did real good with the brisket, and then they did really well with the rib sandwiches. Just boom, it was just amazing. Yeah, so it was great, and the buzz is still high. Like, San Antonio's ready for football. They're ready to challenge Seattle and St. Louis when it comes to attendance.
Right, yeah.
That's the big thing. And I want everybody to, go see an XFL game that watches this show. Even if you're not in the market that has an XFL team, find a way to get to an XFL city so you can catch a game. That is the main thing. You must be getting some kind of text messages right now?
No, I'm trying to listen to the sound from different spots, that's all.
Oh, you're hearing, okay. In the middle of the show?
Yeah. You know me. I'm always
I know. You're constantly on the move and stuff.
See, some man says there's a background hum.
I think it's on your end.
I don't hear it on this end.
It might be on my end. Who knows?
I don't hear it on the feed when I'm listening.
But anywho, great job by San Antonio putting that thing out together, and I can't wait to get back to San Antonio so I can catch a game.
Right, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I'm excited to see, See, they say it's
yeah, it was from your microphone.
Oh, does that sound better?
You got to talk in the mic for one.
What?
Yes. You just got to deal with that background noise that you got.
I literally have no idea what just happened.
Hey, but we did get some news in the XFL. We've had a couple of assignments that was given. One is happening with DC. The other was going to be with Houston, but an announcement was made thereafter for Houston with Kurt Benkert, and he announced that he would not be joining XFL, that he was going to be taking some time to be with his family, which is fine. That's something we're all about. Now you completely turned off your microphone. Like, we can't hear you at all.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. There you go. And also, De'Aaron King, which we had already stated, even though he wasn't at the draft, he was assigned to the DC Defenders. And at the time that he was assigned, he was with the Carolina Panthers practice squad. And now he had been released by Carolina, and now he is making his way over to DC. Come on, Jim Harris. You ain't got to sit there and be bad. You got to be like that towards him, man. It sounded better with it all. That's your boy Jim Harris, right?
Yeah, I see it. Now, hold on. Let's go back to the Kurt thing, because actually I want to pull that up, because that's funny that you say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me pull Kurt up. I want to pull something up, which I think is very interesting about him, right?
Okay.
How do you spell his last name?
B-E-N.
B-E-N, that's it. Okay.
K-E-R-T.
Now, I know there's the reports out there that he is taking time off to be with his family and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, dude, that wasn't on my end.
It's on me?
Yeah, it's whatever you did, because you got louder in my headphones.
Okay.
It's whatever the hell you did, because you were super loud in my headphones. That's why I'm trying to figure out what's going on, because I got to keep turning my headphones down, because you're extremely loud. Okay, so now we do know that he was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, right?
Okay.
Then we know he was cut, went to Green Bay, got cut by Green Bay, all that good stuff, right? Okay, but then what we also know is that he went to, where else did he go? Then he went to Seattle, right? All right, hold on. Let me go back to here. Because, all right, that just completely shot off. But so I've been doing some research and digging on this guy, okay?
You doing some digging?
I know. So he got signed up by the 49ers practice squad back in 2022. Then he was released on October 12th. And then he re-signed with the practice squad on the 18th. And then on November 15th of 2022, he was released again. That was with the 49ers. And then on December 12th, the Roughnecks said they picked him up. So as I start doing some research on this guy, Burkett is signed with Space Station Gaming for
Benker. I don't know what you call him.
Whatever.
Don't do that, because you don't want nobody calling you Spargin. You know that ain't your name.
You know what? That's happened to me so many times I can't even remember.
That's my point.
But he is an extensive e-gamer. And before as he was in between jobs of waiting for football, he was actually a media consultant also. That's what he worked as. So the question is you're 27 years old, right? Been in the NFL, 3 different teams. You didn't make it there. You now have a new child on the way, right? You have this job where you could fall back on a media consultant, right? And you're part of Space Station Gaming.
Where are you going with this?
Is he really taking time off from football to spend with his family, or is he just retiring from football altogether to focus on his family and his e-gaming?
I don't know. I'm not in his circle to know.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, everybody's making this big deal and saying it looks bad for the XFL that this guy isn't re-signing with the XFL, right? Everybody's making such a big deal of it, but really,
that's what it's about. Got it.
Is it really a big deal?
No, but here's the thing: a lot of people wanted to see him there.
Did they? Because I never even knew anything.
It was on Twitter. There are people saying, "I would love to see Kurt Banker in the XFL," and
show me.
Be great for him to be there.
I never saw it,
but they were rooting for him to be there. I'm seeing this, and
I'm just saying, I never saw it.
And right, Brian. Video gaming is money. There is money in it. Lots of
money.
Like, I'm low-key mad that I didn't get to that point where I was able to be so good enough where I could do that.
I know, right? So did I. Join the club.
Look, remember we used to get scolded at, why are you playing video games? Video games will wreck your brain. Now you can make somewhere to 85 between that and $100,000 a year doing just sitting down playing a video game.
Exactly. So, like, here it is. So, like, if you go, here's his LinkedIn page. So I'm going to show you his LinkedIn page. Ready?
We really going to get that person.
What? I'd love to get him on the air and talk to him about it. So here's his LinkedIn page. And as you see right here, NFL quarterback, 5 years, esports, business, advisor, consulting, investment, right? Thanks for stopping by. I'm an NFL quarterback and also a member of Space Station Gaming. With Space Station, I produce content, compete in tournaments, and invest in their network early and growth stages. Outside of that, I do consulting work with tech companies, and I'm on a few advisory boards. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. So really is...
He has a whole career outside of football, basically.
Right. And you think about it, you're 27 years old, right? You've already been on 3 different teams. Yeah, say they're the practice squads, but whatever, right? Guess what? I've never been on an NFL practice squad. Have you? Right, exactly. Look, here's some of the other stuff that he's involved with also, right? That he credits to his LinkedIn page. All right. Let me get to it right here. So, content creator, Space Station Gaming, April 22 to press 9 months, right? Esports Product and Growth, Stride Inc., past 10 months. Advisor for World Championship Fantasy for the past 8 months. The ambassador for Thursday Boot Company. He's been doing that for 2 years.
So we got a comment from our YouTube channel.
Okay.
It says the crazy part, a certain percentage of fans are saying it's a bad look on the league, even though they found out the same day everyone else did, which the league was surprised.
But I mean, again, I'm going to go back too. Is this a bad league? Is this a bad thing? He didn't know. If like, look here, prime example, G Fuel. Look how how many people are drinking that G Fuel stuff, playing in the games. Look right here, creator for Ghost Gaming.
Right.
I mean, to me, I mean, look, it's how you want to look at it, right? It's all in how you want to look at it.
He said the league was surprised that he didn't want to play.
Well, and I get that, but look, you're 27 years old. You have all of this other stuff going on.
Right.
Do you really want to take a beating anymore? Or, you have something that we know what an e-gamer makes. You know what an e-gamer makes, and if you're at that level, you're playing in tournaments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he makes a significant amount of money.
See, like right here. Like what Andrew said. Read that.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he went with the steady paycheck over the jump from practice squad to practice squad, and he wants to be home with his new kid. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And don't want to take, like you said, don't want to take a beating.
Right, you're 27 years old, man. You've been playing college. He's probably been playing football his entire life, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the mentality of most players these days. They want it. There are those that love the game, and then there are the ones that have kind of lost their love for the game, and they're ready to step outside the box, step outside of the field, and do something different.
All right,
I have nothing wrong with this.
Or again, yes, or he's got a nagging injury that nobody knows about. I get it. But now, here, look. So now I told you that he's talking about. I mean, look, like right here, right there. As much as he was hyping it up like he was ready to play in the league, I didn't.
Hey, and yeah, get that next comment right below it from Jim Harris. It's the priority sometimes, and change can happen very quickly, and you're ready to go another route. You probably sat down, talked with the family. He's like, "You sure you want to do this?" Look at what you got right now. You have things going for yourself.
Here's another one. They're acting like he is the only quarterback left. Let the man take time with his family. It's his decision, and it's a no-brainer on the league. You're absolutely right. Now,
No bearing.
Right. I pulled up something that I find very interesting, right? So let's look at this. This is an e-gamer salary, right? Now, this is for tournaments, right? So here, the DOTA2 total prize winnings was over $300 million. Fortnite total prize winnings over $145 million. Counter-Strike over $142 million total prize winners, right?
Okay, and do not get me wrong. That is great, and that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, now look, I'll go back to this. So I pulled in the average, e-gamers payout, right? How much does a pro gamer make? It varies. The standard right now from mid to high tier professional is $50,000 to $75,000 from a salary only. Earnings from a tournament winnings, sponsorships, and streamings are added and calculated based on how popular the individual is. That's just their annual salary without all of the other stuff included into it. So now if you're this guy, right? If you're Kurt right here, right? Who is playing Call of Duty, right? And who is a creator of content, right? Do you really want to get beat up on a field when you have a brand new child?
No.
Can you blame the guy?
No.
Huh?
Not at all.
And he said, I'm just taking the time off and reevaluating things. So maybe he is coming back to play. Who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just think to me, it's not a bad look on the league itself. It's just, this is a guy who didn't feel like he was ready. He just didn't feel like his heart was in it anymore.
And I got mad respect for Kurt for doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got nothing against it. He chose family first. Wants to be with his new kid, and as you can see, he has other investments that he's dependent on. And football is like a fun job. You know what I mean? Even though what he's doing right now is considered a fun job. So he has a lot of fun jobs, and one of them is not getting hurt.
Is football a fun job?
If you love it, it is considered a fun job.
I mean, I get it if you love it, but do you really want to get the hell beat out of you all the time?
Ask those that's wanting to play in the XFL in 2023.
Here's his tweet that he put out. Right. This is actually from Kurt. This is from his page. Right. Okay. Well, let me get to it. Arlington. It says, I didn't think I was going to have to write anything today about the report that came out that I was assigned to the Houston team. This is true. However, I did not sign a contract with the XFL. The timeliness of the media report is unfortunate and maybe just a coincidence. For many reasons, and to the fault of no one in particular, this opportunity no longer feels like the right one to pursue. I'm choosing to spend this off season with my wife and daughter back home to experience some normalcy for the first time in a while. Now think about it. You're a football player. Constantly going, doing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then, like right here, like what Mr. DB Stallion said, joining late, do you think the XFL PR department jumped the gun in saying anything? I mean, yes, maybe. Maybe they should have talked to him and said, hey, just to give you a heads up, we're going to release that you were assigned.
Things come to their desk, they doing. Look, it's already bad enough that people are on XFL PR for putting out news late.
Well, yeah, right. So
come on, man.
If
news comes to them, then they're gonna want to put it out there. Now, I don't know if they talked with Kurt about that, saying that, but like you said, if they did.
Well, let me finish. It says, this year in football has been a wild one for our family. As thankful as I am for the opportunities that have been put in front of me, I'm going to take time throughout the early part of the year to regroup, unpack the suitcase right there, unpack the suitcases, and just be for a little bit. I wish nothing but the best for the league. I don't think it's good for the sport. It's just isn't right for our family. Okay? Now,
you see that comment on the bottom right before you close it out?
Which one?
That one right there where you just put it on. If the XFL is assigning players, guys, this is what you kind of discussed. Going to teams without calling them first, they aren't handling business the right way.
Okay, now, again, that's a double-sided sword, right?
Right.
That's kind of a double-sided sword in all this, because as we've said, people are jumping on the XFL PR because they're not putting things out fast enough, right? We've seen that happen. Okay, are they a little slow sometimes? Sure, but, when you're still trying to fill roles within the XFL, as we see and as you can go, you guys don't believe us, go on LinkedIn, you can see they're still trying to fill roles. We just had a new guy hired in Orlando, which we'll talk about here in a minute, right? You knew that, right, Arlington? We had a new guy hired in Orlando? Right, we'll talk about that in a minute. But, to me, I don't think it's such a big deal. I don't think it's such a big deal that he decided he wasn't going to do it, because you saw, I'm tired of living in suitcases. And, like somebody said earlier, maybe he does have a nagging injury and doesn't want to. There's a million different ways to read this. Here's how I say it. The guy made a statement. Let's just let him the hell alone and let him do his and let him be him.
I'm on Mike's comment. That's where I'm at. I don't think it's that nothing to do with XFL PR. If anything, it has something to do with personnel. To know if he was really committed to doing the league.
And Mike, I apologize to you. I did a terrible job on your podcast. Terrible job. I'm more than willing to come back on to make up for it.
So, but yeah, man. Hey, kudos to Kurt, man. Much love to him and all his business ventures and things like that.
Okay, man. Yeah. Now, look, here, again, let's go back to the XFL PR, right? Again, people have complained and griped about the XFL PR not putting things out fast enough, okay? This happens to be one of those times we put something out too fast, and then this guy's like, well, hold on. Wait a second. I gotta get, I want to take time for myself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a double-sided sword, however you want to look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
However you want to look at it. Yeah, I'm not ignoring anybody. It's been a crazy few weeks with the XFL in our midst. That's how I look at it. That's what I say. I don't feel bad for the guy, and I don't blame the guy for doing what the hell he did. I don't. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's bad for the league.
Right. I don't think it's going to hurt them.
I don't either. There's enough talent out there. There's enough talent out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of talent,
uh-huh.
We can segue to this.
Okay.
So there have been, if I'm looking at this correctly, there are 9 quarterbacks that are at Jordan Palmer's minicamp.
Mm-hmm.
We got Kevin Anderson with the Arlington Renegades, Ben DiNucci, Seattle. I'm getting the names that I can off the cuff. Nick Tiano, I think it's Battlehawks. Kyle Sloter with the Renegades. Luis Perez with the Vipers. There's also Jack Cohn, Mitch Kidd, Brian Lewerke, Reed Sennett.
Mm-hmm.
So those are guys that are getting work in Jordan Palmer's minicamp. So even with Banker leaving, they're going to be quarterbacks that's going to get work done. And guess what? That's going to lead to, quote unquote, the next man up. And they don't even know if there's going to be a guaranteed job for them anyway. Because like it's been said in the past weeks, they don't have guaranteed contracts yet, which is why we lead to that mess. I guess everybody's talking about the alumni partnership and stuff.
Yeah, that is true, and that is why a lot of people are all upset about the whole alumni thing, thinking that, oh, this is over for the XFL, blah, 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 all that BS. Listen, if you listen to Reed's interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It tells you, what's his name said that most of those players are going to be guaranteed spots, right? To be honest, I don't think the XFL realized how much talent was really out there. And I think they might have overpromised something more than what they could deliver on.
You think so?
Yeah, I really do. I think that they promised more than what they could deliver on, and now they're trying to figure out what it is and how they can fix this, right? That's just my take. Doesn't mean that's true. That's just my take on it, okay?
The player 54 movement is where we're at,
Well, okay. That's funny that you say that, right? So I'm going to, as you keep talking about it, I'm going to pull another little fun stat up, right?
Okay.
So keep talking about it. Like here, what's some questions?
Well, we feel the nose. Let's see. Yeah, there's a good one. Schedule and Vegas announcement between now and Tuesday. How are we feeling about it? I like it. I put it like this. I'm ready because I want to know what days I'm gonna have to take to go to these games. Because I'm ready, man. Like seriously, I feel good about it. It's like a It's just before Christmas, right?
Uh-huh.
And is this like a week's time now on Tuesday? Because today is Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Is this supposed to be dropped? And I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped it after we did the show.
Mm-hmm.
Some funny business. Anyway, and the Vegas announcement. Okay, if what is said is to be true, I'm not mad about it. But people are going to be either pissed about it or going to laugh their ass off with this. They're gonna laugh at it because it's gonna look like a joke.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know what the end game could be from that.
Mm-hmm.
If what's coming out is going, I can't say it. If what is coming out going to be true. If this Vegas announcement that they have is not a bad thing. It's not. People gonna look down on it because it looks what's the word I'm looking for?
Here. Okay.
I want to say it's a joke. It's more of dang, there's a word for it. And I can't think of it off the top. It was something dealing with Kitty.
Mike is saying, Arlington,
I can't.
I'll give you a speculation. I'll give you a dirty speculation.
I can't
Listen,
elaborate.
I've been talking about it for months. I've been saying it for months. I've been saying it since I came back from Vegas, right?
Yes.
Okay? Listen, I'm speculating within the next week. And Andy, right there, you're right. The lack of people's major hesitation in buying season tickets. I wouldn't say that, but here's what I'll give you a speculation. Okay? They have a place in Vegas. And like Arlington's saying, this is dirty speculation. I don't know how true it is. I just go on LinkedIn, and I go on Facebook, and I go on Twitter, and I just kind of look at everything, and you can kind of see where they're going. A guy over at News Hub or News, whatever it is, one of them, Brandon Anderson, did a little video and dropped some things that he said. Ooh, they're going to go to Bishop Gordman High School. My speculation is that's probably where they're going to end up playing. That's probably where they're going to end up playing. And then in 2024, when they finish the Vegas soccer stadium, like Vegas is supposed to have a soccer team, they're going to move over to there. Okay? I have a feeling that the XFL got screwed over by Mark Davis because the Davises are a bunch of idiots.
No.
I mean, when you have a bad, you spend more money on your hair and your wig than you do anything. And, your little friends that you have sitting there with you. No, it's not going to be at Cashman Stadium because they're building a whole new stadium for a soccer team. They're building a whole
as in a MLS team.
An MLS soccer team. It's all right there, people. I've told you guys hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. It's all on LinkedIn. It's all on Twitter. Do the digging. Do the research. That's all you got to do. They're not playing at Cashman. Okay? I haven't said that they're playing at Cashman. Has that ever came out of my mouth? No. My crystal ball may be a little...
You said it on this show.
I never said Cashman.
I said Cashman.
I said Vegas Ballpark more than I said Cashman.
You said Cashman. And what's funny is that either venue would have done fine with it.
And yes, I have a feeling within the next 2 weeks, Vegas will be announced and the schedule will be announced. Yes. I'm saying it. Mark my words right now. They're going to play their first year in a high school stadium. Now, I don't know what high school stadium.
You just said it.
Oh, I'm just speculating that it's that stadium. But it could be any stadium in Vegas. I don't know. Any high school stadium. But yes, only for 1 year until they go move into the soccer stadium. Next year. And right here, look, exactly. What is this guy? Right here. It doesn't really make much sense to generate a roster.
Guarantee. Read what you see, dude.
A guaranteed roster spot for all those AA guys along with the draftees. You're right. It doesn't. Their new soccer stadium, I think, is going to have, what is it, Arlington? Like a
22,000?
Something like that.
Somewhere between 22 and 25,000.
And you guys gotta realize this. Here's what you guys keep realizing. If you guys haven't noticed about this XFL version, okay? They are going towards the working class people, is who they're going towards. That's who they're going for, the working class. Yes, hey, listen, you could say it doesn't work logistically. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Brian, all I'm saying is my crystal ball may be fuzzy.
24,000.
But it's right almost all the time. That's all I gotta say.
Andy, what you're saying, it'll be built up on par for the next season, right? 2024. So if you're seeing that right there, that lets you know it's only going to be a year.
Exactly.
It's only going to be a year. So you can, and hey, you can make light of it, whatever, man. Hey, they still going to keep pushing. And you can talk bad about Mark Davis, about not putting it up there. But guess what? The whole thing is about money. And you know that. It's going to take, they want a certain amount of money to make it work. And plus, they don't want to tear up the field. That's their choosing.
Mm-hmm.
That's their choosing.
Exactly right. Now, Arlington, so I want to kind of get to a couple things on this Kurt thing, right? Okay.
You going back to that?
Well, no, because I want to go. I want to go to something else here. So I got to screw. Okay, so Randy Mueller. Do you know who Randy Mueller is?
He got something to do with Seattle. I know.
He does. He is their, I think, what does it say, like their player of
director of player personnel, right?
Yeah. So
otherwise, I call it the general manager. right. No, but it's not. So.
Hold on. Okay, but again, this is only for a year. You're right. Now, here's the thing. They might be able to work out some kind of deal. I mean, right now, yes, it is perfect in Vegas to limit yourself to 24,000.
Hey, this is what I'm. Let me say something.
Go ahead, because I'm going to pull this up.
Why are you doing that? Mm-hmm. I'd rather, when it gets to that stage, to the MLS stadium, I'd rather it get to you get turned away for tickets than not having all them people in there. Because let's not forget, in 2020, LA had a hard time getting people in there, and they were in the soccer stadium.
No, they had a hard time getting 9,000 people in there.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So you gotta, it's something, there's nothing wrong with growth as it gets to that point. If you gotta turn people away for tickets, it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
That lets you know that there are people that are there and they want to see the game.
Mm-hmm. Considering you're going to have cities like Seattle, St. Louis, San Antonio that could very easily fill their stadiums up, could put 50,000 in each one of those stadiums. Like I guarantee you, the Battlehawks can put 50,000. I guarantee you, Seattle could put in 50,000 with the way that the mayor is up there, going crazy with getting people games. No, but I mean, I'm serious. And then,
as long as there is a good product on the field,
and
people will show up.
Right. And what I saw in San Antonio with their fan fest, I guarantee you they could put 50,000 in the Alamo Dome. Right now, back to the players, because we've been talking about players, and is this really a bad look that Kurt didn't sign his contract? Now, this is from Randy Mueller. This was on December 9th, right? He says, sounds like an opinion for sure. This is from NYG FANINCTL. Your terrific
It's basically New York Giants fan and it looked like CLT. What does that look like?
See right here, look. Seattle, DC plays in a soccer stadium, right? Michael says it right here. Basic business practice, supply and demand.
Bingo. Hit it. Hit the nail on the head. Go ahead.
Exactly. So anyways, your newsletter at Inside the League, what will determine which XFL players will and won't be draft eligible in the NFL's April draft. Thanks for the advice. Now, this is what Randy says, and he shows it. And this is in the red. You can go December 9th, read his tweet. It says, will XFL teams dip into the portal? ? The transfer portal presents another option for players actively considering their next step and who do not find what they're looking for at the college level. They have several weeks to consider entering the XFL draft pool in advance. of the league's supplemental draft, which will take place in the first weeks of January. Now,
and then the next question after that.
Hold on. If you remember what I said.
Yeah, you
did.
You did say that.
Agent is saying, what's up, Jimmy? Hope everything is safe. If your agent's saying you're a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round pick, right? Okay.
Or say you may not. They're going to tell you you're drafted, but you may not.
Right. Say, yeah, you may make the draft pool, but you may not. And then you have this option where the XFL can dip into the portal before you're done with college. Which way you going to go if you're one of those players?
I will look at it like this. You got to remember the draft is in April. The XFL season is in February, right? February to April, or February to May, June, whatever, at this point. February to May.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about if you're not going to be, if they're projecting you low end, you might want to get some time to kind of prove yourself. And I think that's what Dirty was talking about. To prove yourself playing in the XFL.
Or not just that, because it goes on to say, the second part of this is, could we see agents encouraging draft prospects to consider the XFL? Question mark. Randy goes on to say, everyone wants to be on top, but no one wants to go first. Who will be the first contacted advisor to send a developmental client to the XFL, passing up the normal pre-draft expenses and allowing his clients to get paid for 10 weeks, then taking his chances in the draft with new film? The XFL 3.0 regular season ends in late April, whereas the USFL season will start in April and last until June. So think about it. We already see that the USFL said that you could sign with their team, and if an NFL picks you up, they will let you out of their contract, correct? We've seen that, right? So let's say you're one of these guys. You're in the XFL. You just did your 10 weeks. Now your agent's like, hey, you're right on the verge. You have some tapes, but some teams want to see you play some more. Let's go talk to the XFL, see if they'll let you out of your contract to go to the USFL to where you can get some more film. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying. So the XFL lets you out of your contract. You go, I'm just going to use the Memphis Showboats. You play a few games with the Memphis Showboats, and then what happens? The team says, I'm drafting Arlington Lane because I've seen 10 weeks. Now I've seen 13 weeks of him playing.
Here's the difficult part to that. You got to remember, like you saw in the page, is that draft is in late April. Can't go. If you're going to get drafted, I know they do supplemental drafts afterward too.
Think about it. Your draft. Let's say you get drafted, right? But I
got to remember the supplemental drafts as well
in January. But let's say that the NFL tells you, Arlington, look, we saw you in the XFL, but we still think you need to work on this. We're gonna draft you late round, 7th round, but now instead of you, we want you to go to the USFL, play a few more weeks, and see if it will work out for you. You know what I'm saying? To get us more tape. You're already going through a training camp, basically, right? And then, boom, by September, training camp starts in what, August? September? Right?
And here's the thing, though. I know this past year, they did not hold a supplemental draft, right?
No, they didn't.
It could happen next year. But do you want to take that chance? Because you mentioned about the XFL supplemental draft. I wasn't even referring to that. I was referring to the NFL supplemental draft because, like you said, if they're trying to get film together in the XFL to play, and potentially in the NFL, get some game film, right? They're going to play up until the draft. Right? Or potentially they're playing in the championship game, they'll play up to then. But by then you'll have enough game film to say, hey, we can consider you as a draft pick for the NFL. And then it potentially get you out that contract. But you'll get paid your 10 weeks. Right? You get paid 10 weeks. And then you get an opportunity to make some money in the NFL.
See, like right here, Route 66 starts today. Talk with 2 people about the XFL each day. 132 more tickets
Sold. Yeah.
sold before kickoff on February 18th. Now, we're talking about how many players and how was the NFL Player Academy a good thing, right? So here you go. You ready for this, Arlington?
Okay.
To better understand it, how many Division I football players, student athletes there are. Now, this is just for I put in how many Division I football players are there. Okay,
It's a
are you
lot.
ready for this? You ready for this?
It's a lot,
To
sir.
give you a better idea of the size of how many divisions compared, there are about 176,000.
Yep.
About 176,000 Division I players.
Yep.
Now, to add to that, a little more than 118,000 are in Division II. And Division III has just under 188,000 players. Okay? Now, take that into consideration that a college football team can have up to 125 active players on them at one time, but the limit is usually around to 105. Now, the question is,
Now, this is just football players alone, right?
players alone, there is more than enough talent out there for the XFL, USFL, arena leagues, because the arena football league's coming back. There's enough talent out there that the XFL, USFL can field teams, right? The main thing is money. How much money do each one of these leagues have? There's more than enough talent. You know what I'm saying? Like here's the percentage, right? Of the Division I athletes, only 2% go to the draft. 2%. That means there's 98% of Division I players out there that can still play in the NFL.
Or play football, period. Play
Now,
professionally.
Mind you, Arlington, I didn't even pull in how many HBC football players are there. I put Division I players. Division I football players. That's just Division I college football. There's that many players. So this was back. So the NCAA, including with high schools, right?
Mhm.
There's about 1.1 million football players between Division I, Division II, Division III, and high schools. So to say that it's a bad look that Kurt didn't sign with the XFL, really not, because guess what? They have more than enough people. And to say that they really need the partnership with the NFL Academy, because I don't think they realized how much football was out there. I mean, think about how many people, when they found out that The Rock was involved, wanted to get in on this, right? So I think that had a lot to do with it, too. And I think that's where we're seeing the whole mix-up with the NFL Players Academy and all of that stuff.
It's that power of influence that you talked about the minute that The Rock got in on the XFL.
Remember, Arlington, I've said it, I don't know how many times. I've said it on our show. We said it on Reels and Heels. $450 million. That's who they're going after. That's exactly who they're going after.
That power of influence is huge.
Now, if you were in Orlando, please get to meet your new director. Oh man, my computer's messing up. Hold on. See, like my screen's all jacked up.
It is.
Yeah, dude, my screen's all jacked up. All that stuff, man. I'm having a terrible day, bro. Like I woke up this morning, my computer screen was all messed up. Everything, man. It's just been a bad. It's been a bad, So
just a bad morning for you, dude.
Yeah, let me get back to this, okay? So here we go. Okay. Let me get back to it. I just fixed it. So there we go. Andy Seedley, team director and team communications media relations for the Orlando Guardians. So, Orlando, basically, he is the director of team communications and media relations. Hint, hint, Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
Hint, hint.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you look over here, let's look over here, Arlington, shall we? Look who this is, the director of marketing and content. People, anything you want to know about the XFL,
You can go to LinkedIn, baby.
it's all right there on LinkedIn. So now they basically have their guy, who is the head of the communications and media relations, Andy, down there in the XFL in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to say to him, congratulations and welcome aboard to the XFL. Is that it? We got anything else?
No, I don't think so. Not today.
Right? We had a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
A lot.
We filled it a little over an hour, and I'm grateful for it.
I know I got yelled at by my wife. My wife said I was being too loud.
It's true. Hey, folks. Hey, thank you once again for tuning in to this edition of the X Fan Show, Afternoon Delight.
For what?
Did I say something wrong?
Yeah, we're thinking people.
Why? That's what we do. It's for the fans. What are you talking about?
I don't. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, sure. Thank you guys.
Seriously? Drink your hot water, man. That's what you're doing right now, right? Drink your hot water.
Hot water.
Hot water, man. Hey, as always, you can catch the show on Facebook, you can catch it on Twitch, and you can catch it on YouTube. Hey, appreciate you. We're about to get up out of here. And hey, dude, I'll see you Thursday, right?
I appreciate you too, buddy.
Yeah, you'll do better next time.
I guess, yeah. Wednesday night, the B-Hawk Fill the Dome edition.
Yeah, fill the top. And then Thursday, we're back at it again.
Arlington won't be joining me because he no longer lives in St. Louis.
Real quick, this is a question to...
I'm not talking about expansion. I'm not talking about expansion.
That's not expansion. Did you even read it?
It was too expansion.
No, you're not reading it. Do you expect me of the bigger teams like Georgia, Michigan, Ohio, Oklahoma to get drafted by the NFL, and how many of them players that can make it to the XFL? How in the hell you get expansion out of that?
Oh, because I'm an idiot.
Thank you. We'll discuss that on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're talking. That's some of the big. That's part of the Big Five right there.
Dude, they already saying Stetson Bennett from Georgia could be playing in the XFL.
Well, that's true. That's true. But
He would be better off playing there than playing in the NFL.
I mean, maybe we can talk about it Thursday.
Go figure. All right, y'all. Hit the music, man. So we can get up out of here, man.
I'm going dance pop today.
What's wrong with you? We'll catch y'all next time for another edition of the X Fan Show. You don't catch it on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Good night.
You want to watch me do the giddy?